You have all the power within you to choose and create the realities that will blow people's minds. You can do amazing things. Do you agree?
Yes.
Hey, y'all are awake. I mean, we can do things that go beyond rational thinking. It's like our rational mind would go, oh no, you can't do that. Yes, I can. We can do things that can go beyond the human imagination. Like, think about, just in the past 100 or so years, how many things have gone far beyond the human imagination at the time. So, do you know that you can fly high? I know, y'all are thinking about the airplane. You can dive deep in the oceans. You can climb to great heights. Do you know that you can play with fire and not get burned? I know the irony of this is just beyond me, but it's okay. You have all the power within you to choose and create the realities that will blow people's mind. Just blow it off. Have you ever had something happen in your life and you just go, man, that just blew my mind? Then you tell someone else and they go, that just blew my mind. So we just want a lot of minds blown. We'll clean it up. It's all right. I'm reading one of the many books. I think I got 8 right now going between class and books I'm wanting to read. It's a great book. I'll introduce it to you next year. And in this book, this woman says, you have one glorious and brief shot at being the you that is you on planet Earth, and the power to create whatever reality you desire. So, as we're talking about, why not play big and live it up? Right? Play big and live it up. Why not be the happiest, biggest, most generous, fully realized human being you can even think of or beyond? So I think it's high time. I think it's high time to live this life so big and so prosperous once and for all. Unless you just want to stay where you are. Who wants to stay right where they are? Okay, so you're all in, right? All right, you must be. Now, I've used different definitions of prosperity and prosperous, and now I have a new one, thanks to this book I'm reading, so I'm going to use it until I decide to drop that and pick up another one. Prosperous. When you're able to afford all of the things and experiences required to fully experience your most authentic life. I like that one. Basically, being able to do all the things that make your heart soar. So, but the thing is, and the truth is, as we all, because we all want to fly high, we've got to know what the rules are. So we've got to know what the rules of flight are. And that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, you ready? Ready for the rules? Rules are fun. You can drop your thinking that rules aren't fun. Let's just pretend rules are fun. You ready? Rule number 1. Rule number 1, you have to absolutely know and declare that it's okay to fly. That's where you start first. You got to start that it's okay to fly. Now, if you haven't caught on, I am using the metaphor of flight. We are all month. We're taking it up. We're playing big for prosperous living, whatever that is to you. And the definitions are all different, like people. So rule number 1, you got to say, it's okay to fly. A healthy desire to live an abundant life is not greed. It's a desire for life. And desire literally means desire of the Father. Of the Father. So your desires were bestowed upon you when you became your earthly self. Did you know that? They're already bestowed upon you. Your desires were given to you by this universal intelligence that created everything in existence with the express purpose of being carried out by you during your lifetime. Desire of the Father. So the first rule is to know it is okay to live a prosperous life. Say it. It's okay to live a prosperous life. It's okay to live a prosperous life. Yeah. Know that it's okay to fly. All right. Good. It's okay to want to do something that you really want to do and have some people actually think you're crazy for wanting to do it. It's okay to do something that you really want to do and have people judge you like, oh, Karen, really? You gonna do that? That is like some crazy stuff. So it's very interesting how all things work together. A few weeks ago, the staff, we were together and we were talking about and being with and in this creative process of the 2018 annual theme. Okay, you got to come to lunch at 12:30 this afternoon because we're actually going to tell you today what the 2018 annual theme is. We're not going to wait for the burning bowl on January 1st. So if you want to know, come to the free lunch. Yes? Yes. So you can get all excited about it. And it was interesting and just awesome in that as we were talking, we were so excited about this theme, we're all just going, yes, 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 yes. There was an element of this theme, we're like, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? And I got all excited and I went, oh my God, I've never thought of that. I want to do that. The next week, I kid you not, I was given the opportunity to do it. Dr. Peter and I were in Asheville, North Carolina at the CSL Ministers Conference hosted by CSL Asheville. And I saw before flying, pun intended, but before flying out, it said, Tuesday night, fire walk. Oh my God. A firework. And you get to do this next year if you choose to, or at least participate and watch some crazy people walk on fire. So just know that in advance. Are you excited? Okay, good. So, I wanted to walk on fire. Can you believe? I think that's pretty crazy, but I wanted to walk on fire. So there were 150 ministers at the conference, well over 100, because I didn't count them, decided to come out and participate in the fire walk. And so here we were, nobody said you're crazy. No one judged us that we were crazy. No one said don't do it. And we each had our own log to put on the fire. In fact, if you're going to fly, you got to prepare to fly. You got to get prepared and participate in the preparation. So prepare to fly. Then, if that wasn't crazy enough, we thought, oh no, let's do this really big. Let's put some hay on it and ignite it really big. Let's add some fuel to the fire. Really fly. Crazy, isn't it? Oh boy. And then, all I can say is there was a fire and it led me to this new realization that there is no such thing as too much awesome. There's no such thing as too much awesome. We're here to play big. Build a big fire. Okay, so rule number 1, it's okay to fly. It's okay to be prosperous. Rule number 2, it's very important to look at where you want to go. You got to know and look and keep your eyes on where you want to go. Where you want to go. Focus on the outcome. What is this as I've taken flight? What is it? Is it I want to live debt-free? I want to travel whenever, wherever I want to go? Is it I want to go back to school full-time and not work? Whatever it is to live this prosperous life, you got to know where you want to go. And you got to look at it. You got to look at it. And the thing is you can't focus where you are currently. Wow, but I'm here. But I'm here. But I'm here. but I'm here. No, you got to look at where you want to go. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? And don't look at the ground. Look up when you're ready to fly. Yeah, so it was the one rule we were told to do. Do not look at the coals. Don't you look at those coals. Trust me, you don't want to look at the coals. You want to look at where you want to go. You want to look in the eyes of someone that is so right there that you know is going to catch you after you've flown, after you walked over the coals in my case. And you don't look down and you don't look at where you are. See, sometimes we put a lot of tension on, but my bank account is only this big. I got these bills, or I have this debt. I got all these student loans. I'll never get out of these student loans. Yep. Don't look at the coals. Look at where you want to go. Right? So don't worry about what's before you. Look ahead. Look up. And hold that in your mind at all times. Now, we really aren't that crazy around here. We're not saying that your bank account's not this, or that you don't have student loans. In fact, Dr. John Waterhouse, when he walked us through this process, when we built the fire, before we even got to the coals, he said, I want you to feel the heat of the fire. I want you to know that this fire's hot. I want you to know that it is. So, okay, it's okay. We're not saying it doesn't exist. But you have to see. You have to see with your spiritual eyes. And you got to see through it. You got to look beyond where you currently want to go. You want to look through the fire. You want to look in the clouds, whatever the case may be. So we're not denying the present condition or the current situation, but you're not focusing on it. Keep your mind on where you want to go. I want to live a prosperous life. Okay? Ernest Holmes talks about prosperity. He says the plain, practical, everyday problem. I disagree with him on the word problem, but it's his quote. The plain, practical, everyday problem of money making is a different part of living. And the answer to it is summed up in these words. Prosperity awaits one's recognition and acceptance of it. Or it could be stated in another way. Your financial success already exists, but it's waiting for you to see it and accept it as your own. To see it, spiritualize, and accept it as your own. Rule number 3. It is daggum time. That's Southern talk. It is daggum time to let go of what's keeping you on the ground. Whatever's keeping you on the ground, it's time to let it go. Because we are the only ones that keep ourselves from flying. We're the only ones. So it's time once and for all to play big and live it up and to have this outrageous, prosperous life. So we've got to let go of any limitations that we're making up. I cannot tell you how profound this was for me in a new way that is still in my body forevermore with this fire walk. And now imagine. We believe and hold a belief. Well, let me just put it for me, up until a couple of weeks ago. I held a belief of what I see in the physical reality in some things is causal. What I see in physical reality is causal. It's not. It's not causal. Ernest Holmes says that the substance that we deal with in itself is never limited. But we often are because we draw only what we believe. We believe it's limited. We believe this is all there is. Because we are limited is no reason why the universe should have limitation. Our limitation is only our unbelief. Life can give us a big thing or life can give us a little thing. Your choice, right? And so we built this fire. We built this fire, and Dr. John said, well, and we went back inside and we did a process. Boom, big fire, stood by it. I felt the heat. We got inside and he said, well, I want you to know that the fire is 1,800 degrees. He said, but the good news is the coals aren't going to be that hot. They're only going to be 1,250 degrees. Great. Whew. But seriously, I had the belief, now use this in any belief you're holding in your life. I mean, this was real for me. I had the belief that fire is real. That's something physical. That's something of matter, right? Now, this was a process, mind you. But I had this belief, and I am now preparing myself, perhaps, because I didn't know for sure. He told us that the people that think you're going to walk, you may not. The people that think you're absolutely not even going to come close to those coals, next thing you know, you might be walking over them. So it was a process. But I held the belief that fire, whatever it is, my bank account, my stuck in the rut job, whatever it is real. It's not causal. So we got to step out of the belief. And I had to step out of the belief that I could actually walk on fire and not get burned. That was the most important part. I might could walk on fire, but I could walk on it and not get burned. Rule number 4. Oh my gosh. I also got this at such a new level. I get it here. Thank goodness I get it here. And in the midst of this process with the fire walk, I got it at another level. Rule number 4, surround yourself with people that lift you up. Oh my gosh. Surround yourself with people that lift you up. All right? People that encourage you. People that won't let you play small. Sharon Rainey, don't you dare play small. By God, play big. Put your name in there too. I don't have time. That cheer you on, that lift you up. And, you know, really, if you are surrounding yourself with people that keep you down on the ground, just stop being around them.
Amen.
Stop it. Now, if you can't, for whatever reason, that's okay. Do not believe what they tell you when they tell you you can't do it. Do not. Come in here and let us all say, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can fly. You can fly. Do you know that you can fly? Go ask Rev Karen. Do you know that you can walk on fire and not get burned? So, don't listen to people talk about your limitations. If you can, stay away from them. If you can't, just don't listen to them. So, surround yourself, and that's what I did. I mean, there are over 100 people surrounding me, lifting me up, just lifting me up. It's called community. That community on that night will never be again. It was very specific to the people that were there, and we celebrated that, and we used it to let us all fly and play big. So I really learned that when people get together on one point and they know where they want to go, and everyone that wants to go is going, and everyone that's there that's not going is going. Everyone went. And I just got the power of community because we were all lifting each other up. It was like Dr. John said, consciously see it with your spiritual eyes that people are walking over the coals about that far. I swear to you, I didn't feel one bit of heat. I walked 8 feet across 1,250 degree coals. I mean it. We cheered every single person on, and when they stepped up, we didn't go, you can't do it. We said, yes, you can. You can walk across that fire. Do you know what I said when I stood right there? Well, first of all, I said, I love God and I love Peter Weldis. That's what I said first. And then I stood right there, and then I said, and I swear to goodness, from this point on, I'm going to play big and live it up. See, I brought you with me, and I went, bam. It's like, wow. So see, I'm still on fire. Sorry. I got you. So surround yourself with people who want you to be another incredible example of what it means to live a prosperous life. Yeah, we can fly together. Okay, number 5. Number 5's rule is let go of form. Oh my goodness, let go of form. Let go of form. God is your source. Not your paycheck. Yeah. God is your source, not your job. God is your source, not your blank. Blank, blank, fill it in. God is your source. Source, let go of form. And I got this at a new level. It was interesting. This is a selfie. It's interesting. It's interesting. So we made the fire, we came back in, he put us through a process. The process was taking 6 or 7 of these different colored little squares and putting tobacco in it and tying it onto a string and making this little necklace. And each time, as we were doing that, we were saying what we wanted to bring into our life. Like what we wanted to manifest. So I got 7 big things I got to say. That was fun. And I took my time, and I was so careful in tying the string around. I wanted it to just, I was so proud when it was on my shirt, and everybody else did it too. And at the end of the process, after everybody that wanted to go across the coals did, he said, okay, everybody, now throw it in the fire. I then knew how attached I was to that little thing I made. I had to let go of form. I was attached. And so sometimes we go, wow, I spent all this time at this job, and they keep promising me that they're going to give me the raise, or they keep promising me they're going to give me the promotion or whatever. I can't leave this place because I've invested so much time. We're a little attached to the form. God is your source. So it doesn't matter. Just do this thing. Doesn't matter where it comes from. Let go of form if it's holding you down on the ground. Okay. Rule number 6. Use the people that have flown before you as an inspiration. Use them all. Use them all. Think of all the people that you know right now that are living or have lived a prosperous life, whatever that definition is for you. You know, Dr. Peter and I really are, we get to challenge ourselves. Are we actually walking the walk in all these areas of our life in order to be your spiritual leader? So we have to live a prosperous life so that we can say, you can too, right? So look at all the examples of whatever your definition of a prosperous life is, and use them as inspiration. There's so many people that you can. They're demonstrating it. And I have something, you may be surprised in this, you are not the great exception. You're not the only one on the planet to not live a prosperous life. So what I did was, I usually go first in things, but this was very different for me. So I stood there, and I just watched 20, 30, I don't know how many. Lots of ministers do it before me, and I used them as inspiration. There they went. And, they weren't saying, owie. They just kept going. They were getting, and I was like, oh my gosh. And a couple of people in my mind was like, well, gosh, if so-and-so can do this, so can I. And I use them. Doesn't matter what kind of inspiration it is, use it. It was like, I used them as inspiration to let me know that I could walk across those coals. And that I can do it. And lastly, rule number 7. It's very important to celebrate every flight along the way. Every single flight. When you hear, okay, so the flight is this prosperous life. When you hear someone getting a raise, woohoo! Way to go! Way to get the raise. Celebrate it. When you hear someone getting promoted or whatever, when you every single thing, when you take that next step, go, yes, 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 celebrate it. And I got yet another awesome experience of this because everybody that walked across the coals, we took our time in celebrating them. We just said, yes, yes, yes. We all clapped and like, way to go, way to go. We didn't rush it. And then the next person, yes, 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 yes. I mean, it was powerful. So celebrate every step along the journey. It's great to celebrate. Yes? Yes. Let's celebrate how prosperous CSLDallas is, and we actually gave over $10,000 to the communities in Houston and the food pantry, and let's celebrate it. Yes. All right, so quickly, here are the 7 rules. In review, know that it's okay to fly. Look at where you want to go. Don't look at the ground. Let go of what's keeping you on the ground. Surround yourself with people that'll lift you up. Let go of form. Boy, that's when my life broke open, and that's when I came here, because I let go of form. Use the people who have flown as an inspiration and celebrate every flight. So, are you ready to fly? Yes. Are you ready to play big and live it up? Yes. Not just talking about it. Let's do it and be in this community. So, I have this great quote by Ernest Holmes that I want to end. This is sort of my prayer before Dr. Peacher does another prayer. So I just invite you to take this in. Just take it in however you want. To become alive and build the greatest lives we must, become something more. There is not a day in my life that goes by that I do not take the time to unify myself and my consciousness with big things. To think I am one with all activities, all industries, all commerce, etc., and just feel that thought reaching out and encompassing the largest fields of activity in the world. Then you are one with the infinite stars in the heaven, and that is to see things. It is that in our mental attitude that decides that we are to become and nothing else. If you could feel your mental concept of your business, of your prosperous life, of your love relationship, whatever, if you could feel your mental concept of your business touch the universal, you would only have to speak the word, and it would come to you in a ceaseless stream. So it's time for the mental concept of that which we want to be touching the universal, to speak the word, and it'll come to you in a ceaseless stream. This prosperous life, this abundant life, where we fly high, we play big, and we live it up. So it is.
You can keep playing. And we know that we come to moments in our lives when we feel like we're playing big and we're successful and life is good, and we can see that that's not always true for everybody, right? Sometimes this is the challenge of celebrating our own good and not becoming self-absorbed and thinking that it's just about us. So, as has been mentioned, Gaia is speaking. And so today we're lighting this candle for all of those affected by the fire in Northern California. All the first responders, families and friends. And you see, we can do this because we're not in the fire. We're standing around it. And we can use our consciousness to lift up those who are walking through it. So I invite you to join me. I invite you to go within with me now. How good it is that we can sit here in the loving embrace of this community as a representation of the loving embrace of life itself. Recognizing and knowing that there is this one infinite life. It is the creative intelligence, the creative power, the creative force behind everything. And we claim that that creative power is impelled by love. That love is its source, love is its intention, and love is its outcome. And how do we know this? Because life is always for more life. Life is always for growth and health, wholeness and joy. We call that love, that impulse. And that life moves through each one of us here. It moves through our planet. It expresses through all beings everywhere. And because we know this truth, that there is no place where spirit is not present, no place where the universal power is not moving, no place where love is not being revealed. We focus on Northern California. And we claim that love is present. We hold in our mind's eye. We lift up every person who is affected by this fire. We lift them up in our hearts and in our consciousness, and we see them lifted by life itself. We lift up those who have been evacuated, those who have opened their homes, those who have lost everything. We lift up those who are there in support, fighting fires, taking care of people, responding over and over and over again, because they are the very love of the universe made manifest. And so we lift them up. We claim that there is all the energy that is needed, all the resources that are needed, all the hands and all the hearts that are needed to lift up our brothers and sisters, our beloveds. And so we allow our lives to pour out in this blessing, in this claim. And when we look at the fire and we feel its heat, there's only one thing to do, and that is to claim the good that comes of it. To claim the outcome of good and more good. And we do not need to know what that form is, but we know it is so. So we hold our attention clear-eyed on the end result. Healing, new prosperity, new coming together, lives lifted in seemingly miraculous ways. And because our attention is turned specifically today to Northern California, we can effortlessly expand our gaze to every place where people have been touched by tragedy or disaster. And we know the same truth for each and every place, each and every person. This is the truth that we hold. This is the end result we claim, and we walk through the fire of our own doubt and fear to lift each other up. And because we know the law, we know that by staking our claim in this truth, it is already so. So we can let it be, knowing that we are moved in exactly and precisely those ways that are perfect for us. We let it go. We affirm it and declare it together by saying, and so it is.